Hey everyone, welcome back to the Risen Entrepreneur Podcast. I am once again your host, Danny Gerpat, and today I am joined by the Shelita WinfieldDuke. We're going to be talking about winning from within. Hello, Shelita. Welcome here.
Hey, Danielle, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
We're really happy to have you. I'm looking forward to talking about how we can win in all aspects of our life. This is going to be really good. You guys, if you don't know Shalita, I'm going to just give you a little overview of who we're talking to today. She is dubbed as the Spiritual Midwife, and she is here to partner with you along your journey of abundant success. She's the founder of the More movement, personal success coach at SheWin Unlimited, where she equips professional women and entrepreneurs to live out the power of operating in abundance God says they have. So, as chief servant of and I
In
can't say it.
excellence. In
An
excellence.
excellence.
You're
Look,
just
we even
operating in
I
excellence.
in excellence. I even practiced right before. I was like, how do I say this? It trips me up. Okay, in excellence. It's not that difficult. In excellence enterprises. Shalita's desire in equipping women to move from wounded to winning is fueled by her personal passion to help them understand that in spite of their past, all things work together for good. She and her husband reside outside of Washington, D.C. area, are blessed with two phenomenal children who are poised to share their greatness with the world. So, Shalita, this is awesome. Welcome here. I'm glad it worked out today.
I know, me too. Thank you so much. I know it has been so crazy, but I appreciate all of your patience and diligence. I'm excited about this opportunity.
It'll be good. Okay, so but before we get deeper into our chat today, tell us a little bit about you. What has brought you here? Why are you in this entrepreneurial space, and what has brought you into your coaching?
Sure, absolutely. So people ask me this question often: why did I become a coach? How did I become a coach? And quite honestly, one of the main reasons why I became a coach is because I was sitting on my own greatness. I was in a situation, or should I say, was coming out of a situation, and in trying to heal from that, I realized that not only did I not love myself, I really didn't like myself. And if I didn't like myself and I didn't love myself, then it was really hard for me to accept who I am. And so I found that I had been trying to craft a life that really wasn't mine to live. So as I went along this journey, I realized that the only way that I could really be the best of me was for me to accept all of myself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what I had to learn to do. I had to learn to accept me. And as I have come out of that and talking to other women, it really is a consistent challenge. We tend to fit whatever hat that we are wearing, whether it's mom, employee, wife, business owner, ministry leader. We wear so many hats
Mm.
and we um, morph into these roles. And in doing that, and being so concerned with everyone else, we really lose sight of who we are as a women and as women of God. And so I talk about that greatness because the dreams, the desires, the hopes that you have inside of you don't go away because you're wearing 12 hats. They just get suppressed.
Oh,
And so I had to learn, and my one of my favorite Jill Scott songs is I had to take my joy off the shelf because that's what happens. We put it aside, we put it up because we will get back to it. After we raise the kids, after we get the business going, after we attend to the husband, after we take care of the parents, after we do the ministry, we'll get back to it. But I don't have to lose sight I of what makes me me because I'm busy taking care of everything and everybody else. So when I talk about the greatness, when I talk about revealing my greatness, or owning my greatness or discovering my greatness, it really is self discovery. I am getting back to what makes me great and the things that God placed in me for me to be me.
oh, that's really good. And I think that resonates with a lot of women. I mean, One woman doesn't wear just one hat. We're always wearing all of these hats, from like
Absolutely.
cook to house care to child raiser to entrepreneur or working or
Yeah,
wife, sister, friend, neighbor,
all of
working,
it.
serving in ministry, all of these things. So, and that sounds like a lot. It's overwhelming. And I
Hmm.
totally, I really resonate with what you're saying, how we're wearing all these hats and then it suppresses these dreams and these things that God had originally put on us,
Right,
right? That's
right.
part of our identity. I'm wondering, how, because my first thought was like, how is this possible when you're wearing all these hats? Like, how can we take that joy off the shelf that has just kind of inched its way up there because we're just juggling,
Hmm.
because we're doing so much? How do we really implement that into our lives as busy entrepreneurs, as busy mamas, as busy everything?
Well, I have a framework. It's called the Power Framework, and that's what I pretty much live by. So, power, Power. P is pause and pray. So, no matter what, we are always faced with a choice, a decision, a situation. And instead of jumping in to say yes, to save the day, to take care of it, pause
Mhm.
and pray. Do I need to do this? Do I need to say yes to this? Is it going to break down if I say no? Like you have to really take a moment and step back. I talk about we put our children in timeout, but sometimes we need to put our decisions in timeout too. We don't have to rush to give someone an immediate answer. If it's not life threatening, then it's not threatening.
Mhm.
So pause and pray. That's the P. The O is to own my stuff. And so that comes from we all have accountability in the way we accept treatment from other people. We teach people how to treat us. And sometimes we need to re educate them on how to treat us. And that comes from me being or taking full ownership, taking full accountability of the things that I have let slide in the past. And so when I take ownership and responsibility for my actions, then I can teach people based on my progress how I will allow or what I will accept, let me say it that way, from other people. So when I own my stuff, then I am able to know what my triggers are. And then I am able to say yes or no or maybe. And
Mhm.
you have to you have to realize that no is a complete sentence. And because you don't have to explain, if the answer is no, then the answer is no. And you owe no one an explanation about that. So own your stuff. The W is to watch out for the distractions because the thief comes not but to steal, kill, and destroy. There are many distractions. And if you are recognizing your triggers and under the owning, then you recognize what the distractions are under the W, the watching out for the distractions. So they kind of go hand in hand. And once you know your triggers, it is easier to say, oh, nope, I don't need to focus on that, or not right now, or put that off to the side or whatever. Because when you are focused on what your path forward is, then you don't have time for a lot of other stuff.
Mhm.
And so the E is to explore the root. We all have a root of why we have done some of the things we've done. And so, just a quick story. My ex husband, I knew that I shouldn't have married him. I ignored every single solitary red flag that God ever gave me. But you want what you want, or I
Mhm.
wanted what I wanted, and I wanted to be married. And so I said yes, knowing good and full well I should not have said should have said no. And so I had to own that. And then I had to say, well, what was it in me that where I did not have enough fortitude within myself to say no and to wait on what God had for me. And so for me, it was the root of rejection. That may be for you, it may be for other people, but it may not be. It could be rejection, it could be abandonment, it could be fear. So people have their own root, but you need to know what is at the root in your soul that makes you do the things that you, I don't want to say regret, but that makes you do things that you normally wouldn't have done. So owning your greatness is really all about knowing who you are so that you can make choices and decisions that align with your true authentic self. And then the R in this, so we have pause and pray, own your stuff, watch out for the distractions, explore the root. And the R is release the past and reframe the narrative. So yes, I know power really only has one R, but mine has two.
Power.
Right, exactly. And so you have to forgive yourself. And in order to release the past, it's all about self forgiveness. And that is a huge component of greatness because you have to forgive yourself and then you also have to forgive others. And for some, it's easier to forgive others than themselves. And for some people, it's easier for them to forgive themselves than to forgive others. But forgiveness is a key integral part of being able to own your greatness. And so that's how you release the past. You can let things go once you have forgiven them. So, and then reframing the narrative is you really will have what you say. Words have power. The power of life and death is in the life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you have to reframe the narrative and the words that you are thinking and the words that you are saying so that you are able to really walk out and walk in the greatness that is there. So that's how I do it. That's
That's
the
a great
framework that I
framework.
live
Power,
by.
everyone. Power. So how does this, how would you imagine this working for no, sorry, let's go back. How do you think that this really affects the entrepreneur in her business? Because I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of this is it's personal. But how does that, if we haven't dealt with those personal issues, how does that affect us when we are carrying out our business?
Well,
And
you are your business.
mhm.
And so the things that you carry in your personal life and your spirit and your soul, you can't separate that. They are absolutely going to show up in your business. So for example, earlier you mentioned the word overwhelmed. So when you are overwhelmed, that's a mindset. And so you don't have a
Mm,
personal mind and a business mind.
true.
You have a one mind. And so that same old sense of being overwhelmed in your personal life shows up in your professional life. So it shows up as overthinking, inconsistency, indecisiveness, feelings of inadequacy, and then you don't feel like you're good enough to even carry out this business, and then you start comparing yourself to others, and then one just feeds into the other. And so, but that started from your personal feelings of overwhelm, and so it bleeds into your business because you are your business. And so they go hand in hand because of what you are thinking and feeling shows up in your actions.
Mm,
So like using myself as an example, having feelings of rejection sh- resulted in me not feeling worthy, me not feeling good about myself. Those feelings of inadequacy and not feeling worthy led to an action of comparison. I began to see it starts off, oh, well, let me just see what blah, blah, blah is doing. And let me just go over here and see how she said this. And, you kind of begin to morph into these people because you're comparing what you are saying and doing with what somebody else is doing. And then you start overthinking and you're like, well, you've created this persona that's not yours. And then you start overthinking, how do I do the things that are in alignment with what I'm saying I am or what I'm putting out there to the world. So you start overthinking and overanalyzing everything. And then that leads to inconsistency. And then that feeds your indecisiveness. Like it's
vicious
all
circle.
cyclical.
Mhm.
Absolutely, it's all cyclical, and one really does feed into the other. So how does it show up? It shows up differently, but it is typically what I've experienced. Those are the five main areas that they show up as.
Oh, that's good. So I guess these are kind of like warning signs we should be kind of translating. Like these are warning signs in our life that something needs to be dealt with. If we're feeling
Right.
overwhelmed, it's really just
It's a symptom of
it's a
something
symptom
else.
of something deeper. So we're going to be
Absolutely.
looking into those triggers. So I'm wondering, for the person or for the woman who is listening today, and yes, she realizes that there are these things that are kind of manifesting in her business, either feelings of being overwhelmed or fear or rejection. She's putting out her offer, she's trying to sell stuff, but there's things coming up. What is something really practical that she can do today?
So you're so you ask yourself, is what you've written, is it saying what you want it to say? Is it talking to the person that you really want to be speaking to? And is it a piece of advice that you would take for yourself?
Sorry, back
And
up 1 second. We've written something down.
yeah, well, you've gone back over your last 3 to 5 posts, because my example is regarding social media.
Yeah.
So, because that's a huge thing. As a business owner, you really need to make sure that you have your social media and that you're posting
Right.
consistently. And so you want to look back over your last, let's say 3 to 5, 5 to 7 posts, and it not necessarily days, but just the things that you've posted lately. And you want to ask yourself, does it sound like you? Is this something that you would say face to face to somebody?
Mm.
That's the first thing that you want to look at. The second thing is, um, are you speaking to who you say your target audience is? And the third thing is it advice that you would take for yourself?
Oh, okay.
And so, and I say those three things because comparisоnism, I don't know if that's a word. It's like scope creep. And so when you think about project management and scope creep, you have your scope of work. So
Mhm.
who are you talking to? What are you talking about? I.e., the problem that you solve, and what is your solution for that? Those are the like three major things. And so scope creep, comparison comes in because you find yourself talking about things because you've looked over here to see what everybody else is doing. And
Right.
you just kind of find yourself talking about things that you may not really know anything about, or that you aren't, or that isn't in the scope of what you do for people. So if I am a personal success coach and I'm talking about, revealing your greatness,
Mhm.
then I'm not going to talk to you about branding. But
Right.
if I'm looking at what someone is doing and how they're doing it, and they are a brand coach for entrepreneurs, then scope creep says that I am now really listening to this person so much that what they are teaching, I'm now trying to teach that,
Mm.
because you are trying to figure out where you fit.
Yeah, and I
And
think that
that's what scope creep's about.
okay, and I think that's really great because you're bringing us to helping us to stay authentic, which I believe
Hmm.
helps us when we're dealing, with triggers even coming
Right.
up because we are staying, true to ourselves. And I think that's something really challenging as
It is.
entrepreneurs, especially if we're working together with coaches and then we're looking at experts and these gurus, and it's so hard to lose your voice and yourself and your
Yeah,
identity. So
absolutely.
I love that suggestion, going back and looking at those posts, looking back at our voice. Is that something that we'd actually be talking about to
Right.
ourselves?
To
Like,
ourselves, right. Are you taking your own advice, or is this someone else's
is it
advice
being
that they're giving and you just trying to craft it
mm,
and make it fit for you? And
oh,
use that as an example because I've been there. Like I've looked at so many other places in the name of a research, and the next thing I know, I'm sounding like them, and that's not really, like, none of that is who I am.
ooh,
So
you're helping us stay authentic here, Shelita. That's awesome. Shelita, I know that you have a gift for everyone who is listening today. It is
mhm.
called the enemy. It's the enemy within. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, the enemy in me is five telltale
Oh, the enemy
signs that,
within me.
no, it's okay. It's five telltale signs that you are sabotaging your own success and what to do. I'm sorry, it's three. It was 5, but that was just way too many. So it's 3. So I talk about um, 3 key, what's the word? And I don't want to say
Telltale
things, but
signs.
3 key, yeah, three signs basically that you are potentially sabotaging your own success. And then I take you through an action guide of what to do about that. And so that's what that is. You can get that at sabotagestopper.com.
That's right. And you're going to get that link below wherever you're watching this or listening to this. There's going to be a link to that for you, for everyone who would like to stop self-sabotage. If we see these warning signs coming up in our lives and in our businesses.
And so, like we were talking just a bit ago, and I think as taking this to an entrepreneurial area, or keeping it in an entrepreneurial area, we think that it's always something else. Oh, is it our brand, or is it what we're offering, or is it our lack of posting, or the fact that we aren't doing lives or are consistent or whatever?
Yeah.
But I always tell people that you are the common denominator. So none of those things are it. It's probably you, and that there is something deep down in your soul that you need to address.
That's good. And I think it's almost easier to think that it's something outside of ourselves to tweak, right? Okay, maybe it's the funnel, maybe it's the offer, maybe it's just how often I'm posting on social media. I need to busy myself doing all those things, because that's easier than having to stop and look within at those difficult problems, at those identity like shifting or identity. It's so close to our core identity. So yeah, that's challenging. Absolutely. Shelita, we're coming to the end of this interview. And I know it goes by quickly, right? It's like we scheduled about a half an hour and it just whizzes by. And I just we have your power framework, which I think is great for everyone who is trying to kind of up their authenticity and themselves, trying to find their true identity amongst all those hats that we were talking about. So I'm just going to go over them one more time. We have pause and pray. Do I need to say yes to it? It sounds like a lot of boundary. Like we're building on boundaries in our personal lives and our business lives.
Absolutely.
Own my stuff. Watch out for distractions. Explore the route. Release the past and reframe the narrative. Did I get that all?
Oh, got it all.
I'm a good student, guys. Give me a hand. No. So I think these are really great takeaways. And I think especially for entrepreneurial women, especially, we're wearing so many other hats anyway. And we're probably, if you're anything like me, we get really busy within our businesses, that it's hard. We lose track of our identity, right? We lose track of like who God has created us to be, that design, that calling that He's given to us. So you've really given us a beautiful framework here to kind of question those. Shelita, where can we find you if we're looking, if we'd like to connect with you?
I am on Facebook and IG at SheWinUnlimited.com. I mean, not .com, sorry, just at SheWin Unlimited.
SheWin Unlimited on Facebook.
And same one on Instagram.
Awesome. On Instagram as well. And is there anything that you would like to end this session with?
I would like to let everyone that's listening know that everything you need is on the inside of you. If you are challenged in life and or business, don't look left, don't look right, just look up. Everything you need is right there.
So good. Well, thank you so much, Shelita.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danielle.
Blast. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I want to thank everyone listening and watching and hanging out with us today. If you've got any aha moments, takeaways, then please comment below. Let us know how you've been helped, how this is, if there's something that that shifted you or that you've been challenged by. We'd love to hear it. Tag me in it, tag Shelita in it. We love to hear the takeaways. We love to hear that this is helping you. And if you have found that this has been helpful, then please share this interview, share this podcast, like it wherever you're listening to. I would be very, very appreciative, thankful for that. And Shelita, one more time, Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate you.
Well, I thank you, Danielle, very much for the opportunity and the platform.